This is a tutorial about how to create alignment of course components. The tutorial is based on a presentation that I did some time ago that is about alignment in online courses. I used the presentation that starts on slide 7 in Web-Based Instruction, WBI 101, which was a faculty training course I created. In the course, I discussed the QM critical course components. WBI 101 included 5 lessons. This presentation was used in Lesson 1, The Art of Teaching. So that effective learning can take place, in my opinion, it is crucial for the Quality Matters critical course components to be constructively aligned. The QM critical course components are represented in this illustration. In terms of learning goals or objectives, there must be at least 2 levels of learning outcomes in an online course with critical course component alignment. Instructional materials, media, as well as instructional and web resources must be within the alignment sequence. The course must also contain clear instruction, learning tasks, activities, assignments, and evaluation activities with grading criteria. I created the online course WBI 101 for faculty training in how to build online courses. The participants were required to redesign a syllabus for a course that they were teaching or had already taught. The overall goal for the course was to create the content for an online course that would be the basis of the redesigned syllabus. WBI 101 participants were required to master 4 course-level learning outcomes, which were: number 1, create 2 levels of learning outcomes for your course. Number 2, create 1 sample lesson for your course. Number 3, redesign your course syllabus reflecting the QM critical course components. To facilitate this process, in the course, I created a syllabus as a model for faculty to follow. In my syllabus, I illustrated the alignment of the critical course components. The syllabus was for Ed Tech 1301. This slide was the introduction to the presentation about the alignment of Quality Matters critical course components. I used the presentation in Lesson 1 because the main focus of the lesson was how effective pedagogy facilitates effective learning. My position is and was that effective learning results from effective alignment of critical course components. I prepared the chart that you will see on slides 11 and 12 to illustrate the alignment of course-level learning outcomes, lesson-level learning outcomes, and the evaluation activities. Even though there were 6 learning tasks in WBI 101, as shown on this slide as well as slides 9 and 10, the learning tasks are not illustrated on that chart because the evaluation activities used to assess their completion is. The learning tasks are aligned with the learning outcomes, as is the evaluation of them. This represents an essential characteristic of alignment. Participants were assessed according to what they were required to learn and do. The chart I prepared to illustrate alignment is here on slide 11, with the other part of it on slide 12. On this slide, you can see the lesson level learning outcomes for lessons 1 through 3. On slide 12, you can see the ones for lessons 4 and 5. I won't take time and read all the outcomes because you can pause the slides if you'd like. The point I'm making is that the course level learning outcomes lay the foundation on which the lesson level learning outcomes are built. The completion of the learning task assigned to each outcome must be evaluated by the evaluation activity. For example, the first learning outcome for lesson 1 is that participants will analyze their teaching effectiveness by completing an inventory. The learning task for this outcome is shown on slide 8 and reads, "You must complete the Teaching Perspectives inventory located at teachingperspectives.com. The evaluation of this task involves scoring the inventory as shown in the evaluation activity in the chart on this slide." There's no audio on slide 12. This slide illustrated that there were at least 2 levels of learning outcomes in WBI 101. There were course level learning outcomes and lesson level learning outcomes. Course level learning outcomes are the top level of learning outcomes. The lesson level learning outcomes for WBI 101 were aligned with course level learning outcomes. The evaluation activities were aligned with the lesson level outcomes, thus the course level outcomes. This chart illustrates the alignment of the first 3 of the 4 lesson level outcomes in lesson 1 with all 3 of the course level learning outcomes. These are lesson outcomes L1.1, L1.2, and L1.3. The learning outcomes, as I said, in lesson 1 actually target all of the course level learning outcomes and lay the foundation for the course because without effective teaching experience, the alignment of critical course components will be weak. The 4th lesson level outcome, L1.4, is only aligned with the 3rd course level learning outcome. As you can see, in lesson 2, the lesson outcome for L2.1 is only aligned with the 1st course outcome, and outcomes L2.2 and L2.3 are both aligned with the 1st and 2nd course outcomes. In lesson 3, the lesson outcomes for both L3.1 and L3.2 are aligned with the 2nd course outcome. The learning outcomes for lessons 2 and 3 are focused on writing outcomes and creating a sample lesson which will include instructional procedures, materials, web resources, an indication of the media needed, learning activities, assignments, and evaluation activities. In Lesson 4, both lesson outcomes are aligned with the 2nd course outcome. In Lesson 5, lesson outcome L5.1 is aligned with the 2nd course outcome, whereas outcome L5.2 is aligned with the 2nd and 3rd course outcome. Finally, you'll see that the final project, the redesigned syllabus, is aligned with all 3 course learning outcomes. The evaluation of each learning task results in the evaluation of each lesson level learning outcome. My interpretation of alignment is that critical course components must be built and sequenced upon each other with increasing complexity. Effective learning results from such alignment. This learning must be assessed with the associated evaluation activities to close the alignment loop.